Salut YouTube. Allez, on remet du son. On va reprendre exactement là où on s'est arrêté à la dernière vidéo. Il n'y a pas d'établi de craft, je crois, dans ce refuge-là. C'est le premier du jeu. Non, d'accord, c'est de la merde, Bon. Hop. Non.
It's locked, all right.
Et on arrive ici, voilà. Juste ici. Ah oui, mais il y a l'autre en face, voilà. Est-ce que je pense que j'ai de quoi désormais upgrader l'épée? Voilà. Il me manquait un truc, j'ai dû le looter. Oui, voilà. Voilà, et du coup... on va des points de sang. Pour gagner du sang, voilà. Et du coup... histoire d'alterner dans des trucs différents. Oui, je repensais d'ailleurs... la charge qui vient choper de loin et qui sur un adversaire questionné qui te permet donc de balancer la morsure à distance avec la charge, ça va avoir une très grosse synergie avec les armes à feu. Et du coup, dans le cas où on fait, où on base beaucoup du gameplay sur les armes à feu, ce qui est risqué, hein, parce que on a une limite, enfin quoi que si on bourre le nombre de munitions qu'on peut avoir, bon, bah, ça peut avoir du sens. Mais il faudra quand même toujours garder une arme de mêlée avec soi. Ça peut avoir vraiment, ça peut être pas mal, hein, ça peut être rigolo. Surtout que les armes à feu font énormément de dégâts, hein, c'est pas Bloodborne ici. Hein, même si, encore une fois, dans Bloodborne, on peut faire des dégâts à distance. Mais... ils ont dans la plupart des builds. Là, je repars dans le mauvais sens. Hein. C'est par où? C'est par là. Voilà. Bon. On va y arriver, on va y arriver YouTube, hein. Faut juste s'en remettre dedans. C'est toujours fermé ça, c'est suspect. On entend siffler le train. Et voilà, c'est par là. C'est ça, hein? Oui, c'est ça. Il n'y a rien au milieu, donc on va passer par le côté, ça va plus vite. On s'arrête, comment dirais-je, un téléport serait pas trop haut, mais bon, finalement oh, ça se fait bien. Hein. Alors lui, voilà. Est-ce qu'on peut rentrer chez lui? Non, parce qu'on peut croiser sa mère. Et avant de lui filer le collier, j'aimerais bien parler à la mère, moi. Histoire de parler en connaissance de cause, hein, de pouvoir choisir sans regret. Alors, c'est pas cette quête là que je veux. Ah, c'est ça. La mère est dans le coin. Essayons de la trouver. Il était devant cette baraque, donc on aurait pu penser que la mère habite dans cette baraque. Mais c'est pas le cas. Donc il est là-bas aussi. Et on pourrait se dire aussi qu'il habite dans celle-là, c'est pas... Faut essayer de... Ah, c'est un inconnu, ça. Faudrait essayer de repérer la daronne. Ah, je crois qu'on l'a trouvé.
Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Reed. Could I come in?
Why? What do you want?
I work at the Pembroke Hospital. I'm investigating the flu epidemic in this area.
Oh, the Spanish flu. That's quite liberal of you, Doctor. But this is no time to be knocking at people's doors.
The disease takes away the good people too, madam. Why not let me in?
It's Mrs. Fishburne. Stella Fishburne. And yes, indeed. Why not let a doctor in?
Ah, tout à fait.
Just grow eyes in the back of that head.
On peut te charmer, j'ai envie de dire que c'est peut-être une mauvaise nouvelle pour toi. On va d'abord looter ta maison, hein, Stella. On nous en voudra pas. J'espère en tout cas. Y'a rien. Bien.
So you have questions about the flu then?
Yes, among other things.
Forgive my rudeness at the door. It's just my son doesn't like strangers coming in the house.
How is life around here?
Life has always been hard in the East End. But it's everywhere nowadays, isn't it?
Do you think the increase in violence has anything to do with the epidemic?
Don't know. But it's most likely linked to the gangs, if you ask me. Recently, it's like everyone has had to pick a side.
Violence has always fed on poverty, don't you think? It's a cruel law of the human condition.
And selfishness is their rotten fruit. These days, you could just die in the gutter, and no one will bat an eye.
May I ask what you do for a living, Mrs. Fishburne?
Since my husband died, I worked at the Dawson Rope factory, but it closed before the war. I occasionally help at the night asylum, in exchange for food.
How do you pay the rent, then?
My Seymour works at the docks, just like his dad. He's very attached to the house he grew up in. It's not always easy, but we get by all right.
Did your husband die in the war?
Oh no, my Jack was a docker. He died when my Seymour was just a lad. The poor boy saw his dad slip and fall from that scaffolding.
I'm trying to locate Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where he could be?
You talking about the one everyone calls?
The very same.
I'm sorry.
Bon, j'en ai pas appris beaucoup.
Goodbye, Miss
Attends, non,
Fishburne.
on va aller parler au fils.
Please don't.
Every dawn another death. So love to gaze at the stars.
Le voilà.
Good evening, Mr. Fishburne.
Yeah.
I have retrieved the gift for your mother, sir.
Great. Give it here then and take this for your trouble.
I also found the corpses. The ones under which you left the necklace, Mr. Fishburne.
Ah, so that's where I left it. I can be a bit stupid sometimes.
As a man of science, I'd like to try to understand why you killed those people.
Why does there need to be a reason? They were just there. It happened. That's all.
You're not a mindless animal, Seymour. Surely you have something to say about these murders. Speak up and I will listen without judgment.
Could be right, Dr. Reed. Maybe it'll do some good to confide in a gentleman like you. You being educated and all.
Tell me about your victims, Seymour. Who were they? Why them? Was there a link?
Why should there be? They just kept getting on my nerves at the worst times, that's all.
How many? How many victims?
It's not like I keep records. It happens when it happens.
You feel nothing, do you? No empathy for your victims at all?
You seem pretty calm yourself, don't you?
We're not talking about me.
That right? Well, our calm's the only thing we have in common then.
Did you take pleasure in killing them, Seymour? All those people, all those lives extinguished.
I take no pleasure from it. Just gives me peace. Stills the anger. For a time.
Bah, ça reste intéressant dans l'absolu, le mec c'est un tueur en série et tout machin, bon. Mais il y a quand même un décalage dans le ton entre le Toubib qui... On a la possibilité de s'intéresser au tueur en série, mais la noire de tout à l'heure, il faut absolument s'excuser, genre de tout à l'heure de l'épisode présent, il faut absolument s'excuser d'avoir demandé d'où elle venait, de manière totale la plus innocente du monde, voilà. Et il y a une différence de traitement qui est quand même assez dingo là. Le fait qu'on puisse, si on le veut, comme je viens de le faire, s'intéresser au tueur en série, c'est entre guillemets plutôt cocasse et d'une certaine manière un peu décalé, et donc intéressant. Mais de l'autre côté, bah, pour pas faire de shitstorm ou de machin, ou j'en sais rien, comment tu peux penser ça, on peut pas dire ou s'énerver face à la gonzesse, oh, c'est parce que je suis noir que tu me demandes d'où je viens. Ben non, je te demande d'où tu viens parce que j'ai envie de savoir d'où tu viens. Et donc il y a une différence de traitement qui est assez inexplicable. Enfin si, on l'explique, mais voilà, c'est... Enfin c'est terrible d'en arriver là et d'avoir des incohérences de ce genre-là, de traitement, de différences de ton inexplicables. Enfin, bon, je sais pas. C'est toujours le genre de truc moi qui me fait un peu sortir des jeux. Alors ça peut aussi être dû au fait que c'est pas un seul Julius qui écrit toutes les quêtes, donc voilà. Mais du coup ça manque d'homogénéité et on va revenir au fait que voilà, le jeu il manque de cohérence globale, il manque de... il est très mécanique, il est trop rigide, manque d'ampleur, voilà. C'est pas un jeu organique quoi, c'est... Enfin bon, c'est toutes ces pièces un peu disparates, ça donne un... Par moment ça fonctionne très bien, et puis là, d'un coup à l'autre, à 20 mètres de distance entre le troquet et le quai, bah, t'as une différence de traitement entre deux choses qui sont pourtant totalement différentes, mais moi ça m'a choqué quoi. Enfin voilà, c'est un peu dommage. Pourtant j'imagine qu'ils relisent les scripts, mais bon.
This rage you feel, have you ever been able to control it? Resist it?
I tried. For my mum, I tried for her. Telling the truth made me feel better. For a while.
Donc elle est capable de contrôler l'agressivité de son fils. Elle est au courant en tout cas. Alors j'imagine que si on tue la mère, il va littéralement péter un plomb. C'est intéressant.
Don't you think you should seek help? Talk to someone you trust, someone who cares about you.
No. And don't dare speak about me to your colleagues either. Keep your mouth shut tight. Especially about my mum.
Why is your mother protecting you, Seymour?
I'm her son. She's the only one who knows me. Sometimes I think she knows me better than I know myself.
I understand you love her, but can't you see the awful situation you've put her in?
Do you think my mum would have a better life if I were dead? She seems so sad to know me sometimes.
I understand your mother's situation. Obtaining justice at the price of betraying her own flesh. It's quite a dilemma.
It might be my mum's wish that I end up swinging from a hangman's noose. But she wouldn't want to be the one who ties a knot round my neck.
Why?
I'm a son.
I understand you love.
Do you think my mum would have a better...
I understand.
It might be my mum's wish.
Bon, ça par contre, ça j'avais déjà remarqué, mais ça c'est bien foutu. Tu peux pas faire le petit malin à revenir sur une ancienne question pour en savoir un peu plus. Le choix est définitif de ce point de vue-là, ça c'est plutôt bien vu. Ouais. Bien, y a rien d'autre. Hein.
Goodbye, Mr. Good evening, Mrs. Fishburne.
Of course. Please don't stay too long, sir. What can I do for you?
Tell me about these demons Seymour needs your help to fight.
Seymour used to be such a happy child. And he is still a helping son most of the time. But when he gets angry, he can hardly contain his rage.
All men and women are born innocent, Mrs. Fishburne. But there can be a monster within any of us.
Do you think he can be cured, Doctor? Do you think something can extinguish this rage inside my Seymour?
La justice c'est le remède pour la société sûrement, mais pour son gamin probablement pas. L'être humain reste un mystère, c'est une façon de dire, on m'en lave les mains. Non, je vais dire qu'il est entièrement responsable. Il est tout à fait conscient de ce qu'il fait, hein. Mais il en joue d'ailleurs.
I'm afraid these demons, as he calls them, are just a delusional justification to distance himself from his actions.
There ain't no hope then. Somehow, somewhere, my son has turned into a monster, and nothing will bring him back.
Your son's gone way beyond simply bullying people. He has a taste for blood, and you know it, don't you, Stella?
One night, he told me straight up, in his own words. It was several days after one of his episodes.
Why did he confess? Did you suspect something?
No. I guess he wanted his old mum to help him fight his, demons.
Did Seymour tell you everything that night?
More than I could stand. The words he used to describe his hate, his rage, how he feels when he's done it.
Stella, I know you are ashamed of your son's crimes. So why do you protect Seymour?
I can't report my own son, can I? Not a burden I could bear.
Burden? How do you mean?
They'd hang him for sure. I won't send my only son to his death.
I'm convinced you raised Seymour the best you could. You're not responsible for what he became.
If someone ever found the courage to speak to the police, I will take my share.
Goodbye, Miss Fish.
I can't remember the last time I had a good sleep.
Et passer au Ludus.
All these whispers
Et
of
là-bas.
monsters got...
Hello, boy.
Hello. Good evening.
Did I scare you? You have nothing to fear from me.
No, it's just that people prefer to avoid me.
Well, I won't. I'm a doctor.
My name is Rufus, sir. Rufus Kingsbury.
What can you tell me about this region?
It's all about staying out of trouble. But since most people prefer to avoid me, it's pretty easy.
Why do people avoid you?
They call me Rufus the Curse. Around here, I'm a bit of a bad luck charm.
Have you ever thought about leaving?
Where else would I go? At least I know these streets and some people around here. This is my city, for better or worse.
What do you do around here, Rufus?
I listen to the news on the docks, sir. And I smile at those kind enough to spare me a bob.
Do you have a job?
It's hard to work,
La vie, non, hein.
what with my head and all. Since I was a boy, I've always had trouble remembering what I do and why I do it.
What do people say about this place?
Things have been tense between the wet boot boys and the communists. They both feel they should run the docks.
Are you alone? Where is your family?
I don't have any. My parents are dead.
So you have no home. You're sleeping rough.
No. I mean, yes. I live on the streets. I have no home.
You should be careful, Rufus. There are things that lurk in the shadows of this city. Things that prey on the lonely and the desperate.
Well, I've known worse. I'm not all alone. I have Mrs. Fishburne. She's been very kind to me.
Why do you think she's so considerate?
I can't say, sir. I guess she's a good soul. Sometimes it's like she replaces the mother I lost, even if we're not related.
Ça, c'est intéressant. Faut trouver un palliatif à son... à son dégénéré de fils. Elle me fait vraiment beaucoup de peine, elle. Et je pense que je vais, s'il y a moyen, je vais me débarrasser de son fils. Et faudra que je passe niveau 3 par contre en charme. Mais je pense que je vais buter son fils. Par contre, le Rufus là, ne serait-ce que parce qu'il s'appelle Rufus, je vais le laisser en vie.
Do you know him?
Sorry, sir.
Well, I don't...
Thanks for the tip.
Ouais,
So long.
Am I really cursed? It would explain so
on va
much.
retourner. Ah ouais, voilà, il est là.
Good evening, Mr. Fishburne.
Yeah, yeah.
Goodbye, Mr. Fish. Good evening, Mrs. Fish.
Of course. Please don't stay too long, sir. What can I do for you?
The orphan that regards you as a mother. Please tell me about him, Stella.
You mean Rufus? I wish I could do even more for the poor boy. Most people are so selfish.
But you're not.
Years may have passed, but I haven't forgotten how it feels to go through days with nothing but an empty stomach.
Goodbye, Miss Fish.
Just grow eyes in the back of that head, sir. Gentlemen are easy targets in these parts.
Tu me redis quelque chose de plus, toi, du coup, maintenant.
Evening, Rufus.
Evening, Mr.
Non. Je peux le charmer, hein. Anémie, ouais, mais j'ai pas l'intention de le bouffer,
So
je vais
long,
pas le
Rufus.
soigner. m'en branle. Tac tac tac, ça c'est fait. Ah, je peux aller lui parler de l'attaque de la bombe, lui. Donc je vais y aller.
Good evening, Mr. Delaney.
What? Oh, you're that doctor.
I should just run as far away from this place as I can.
Surely you must...
Sure. I wanted to...
Sounds like you were an idealist, which is honorable.
No, sir. I was an anarchist and I believe that exclusive property is a robbery in nature. I wanted a new world to rise from the ashes, Dr. Reed.
Do you really think the world is that bad?
No, I believe we all can choose to make it better. But most of us are too weak, too corrupt and too guilty. I failed for sure, but others will come.
I want to know more about your past as an anarchist, Dyson.
I'm still an anarchist, Doctor, make no mistake. I just reject violence as a tool to change the world, unlike my comrades.
Do you still see your comrades, then? Even if you don't agree with their methods anymore, I mean.
No. I hope they'll come to share my point of view one day. I'll raise my glass to that splendid idea.
Do you believe in a bloodless revolution, then?
I do not believe in much anymore, Doctor. But I'll admit I like your idea of peaceful change. I like it a lot.
I found the location of the explosion, Mr. Delaney. I placed a flower for you where it happened, just as you asked.
Really? That's so kind. I never thought someone would... Well, thank you, Doctor.
It's nothing, really. And I'm sorry for your loss.
What? No, I didn't know them. No car was supposed to park there that day. Stupid bastard, why did he park there?
You're
Ah,
the
c'est
man
lui qui a
who
posé
hit
la
that
bombe,
bomb.
ouais, bah
I
oui.
don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone.
I sense your guilt, Dyson. Why is that? Did you not think violence was an acceptable political tool?
I still believe our fight was just. By killing an innocent couple who were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. No way.
That bomb also killed you that day, don't you see? You just die a slower death, drink by drink.
I know. Maybe I deserve judgment. Until that day, I'll just be Dyson the drunk, not Dyson the murderer.
I want you to remember the bomb, Dyson. Tell me about it.
No. I don't want to remember it.
The victims. They were not the target then.
I spent so much time figuring out the perfect moment. I used a short fuse. No car had ever parked there. They all died.
Why use a bomb? What were you trying to destroy?
The Dawson & Dawson ammunitions factory. A symbol of violence against the people. My group wanted to destroy it to send a message.
Is there anything...
How dare you say...
Ouais.
Goodbye.
Be he cursed or not, he's just another lost orphan.
Ensuite, on va faire ça, oui. Comme je disais, quand on avait trouvé ce qu'on cherchait, j'ai accepté de l'aider, j'ai aucune raison de lui cacher la disparition des
Hello
fossoyeurs.
again, Doc.
I managed to reach the mass grave in Southwark. It was not pleasant.
Spare me the details, Dr. Reed. All I want to know is what happened to those bastards who owed me money.
I'm afraid those bastards, as you call them, are in the mass grave.
Dead? Shit. That money would have been useful. Well, I'll tell my boys to avoid the place if it's that dangerous.
Yes. Everybody should avoid that place until further notice.
Okay then, Doctor. It looks like you deserve your reward after all. The Wet Boot boys thank you for your help.
Tu vends des trucs ou tu vends que de la merde, je crois. Ouais, voilà, c'est nul à chier ce que tu vends. Par contre, je peux vendre du coup toutes ces merdes d'un Camelot là. Ah ouais, mais je vais attendre de faire du craft quand même.
Good evening.
Hello again.
Est-ce qu'on peut lui parler de...
Tell me your feelings about Booth's belief in monsters, Edwina.
It makes him look weak in front of the boys, that's my feeling about it. But ghosts don't scare me.
You don't believe he really saw something then?
I don't care what he saw or not. All I know is that a real man keeps his fears to himself if he wants to be obeyed.
Booth Digby looks at you with love-struck eyes. Tell me, Edwina, is the feeling mutual?
You have no idea how refreshing it can be for a woman to receive all the pleasure she needs. For once.
I'll take your word for it.
What is it, Doctor? A woman's not supposed to talk about these things.
I believe you manipulated Booth Digby to get everything you wanted from him, both inside and outside the bedroom.
The poor bastard is good to me, if you must know. He makes me feel good. And that's a first.
So you're just like any other couple, after all, are you not?
Yeah, we're so ordinary that I'd put a bullet in his head if he ever cheated on me.
Tell me about the man you and Booth killed, Edwina.
The bastard killed one of us and received retribution. There's nothing else to say.
What happened exactly?
I don't know, and I don't care. One of ours was killed by that communist bastard, but he didn't brag for long.
So you have no idea what really happened, but you executed him anyway.
No one messes with the Wet Boot boys, Doctor. This is our territory, and this is our law.
And your conscience is clear. You kill without hesitation.
Violence is an efficient tool, Dr. Reed, when used properly.
So you decide who lives and who dies, just like that.
Yes, Doctor. Just like that. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm saying it's my way of dealing with troublemakers.
Goodbye, Miss.
You again. What do you want?
Tell me about the man you killed, Booth. What happened?
One of us had been killed, so we had to retaliate. That's the whole story.
There has to be more to it than that.
No, really, one of us got killed, so the killer had to die. That's how things have always been done round here. No one gives a shit.
Don't you see it's an endless spiral? One day, it will be you who will be stabbed, or shot, or worse.
That's what my sweet Edwina always says, that one day I'll get it too. But she says it with the most beautiful smile, my Edwina.
I know you believe monsters are real, Booth.
They are. I know, I saw one, but no one believes me.
Tell me what you saw.
It was a few years ago. Clay Cox was still the boss then. He'd sent me to the shipyard to find out who was stealing tools and ropes at night.
Go on.
first I thought it was an old lady with a limp. It looked frail and crooked. Then I saw it grab a bloody beam and lift it like it was a stick. I shouted. It looked straight at me.
Do you know what it was?
It was all eyes and long teeth, but I couldn't see its face. I shot at it when it moved towards me and I hit it. And then it jumped and vanished in the shadows.
You could have imagined all that. These docks can be so gloomy at night. With the fog and the wind and the boats creaking.
No, Doctor. That night I saw the fucking sewer dog for real. It's not a beast like the stories say. It's the ghost of an old woman. Bullets can't stop it. But no one believes me.
Are your friends mocking you?
Even if Wayne told me.
Par contre, il y a un truc que les tests avaient relevé et qui est on ne peut plus vrai, c'est le doublage est vraiment de très très haute qualité, notamment le mec qui double le héros. Il a un accent anglais absolument délicieux et ça joue beaucoup dans l'ambiance du jeu quand même.
Do you know Edwina suspects you to be unfaithful?
Edwina's the one who asked to be called Mrs. Cox, even though Clay hadn't touched her for such a long time.
You have not answered my question.
She's a passionate woman. I've no doubt she'll shoot me down if I ever betray her, but that's not going to happen. I love her as she is.
I know you're looking for an honest job, Booth. You're tired of this criminal life, aren't you?
It's just an idea. Edwina loves to run things so much. You can never really leave the gang. Wet boys for life, you know?
Bon, lui, on sait tout et c'est 4000 XP, mais... Après, bon, ils doivent maintenir un certain équilibre dans le quartier, mais j'avoue que si j'ai moyen d'avoir suffisamment de chambres pour les becter, je pourrais en faire mon 4 heures de ces deux-là. Putain, elle, 5000 XP, putain, ça donne envie. Hein. Lui aussi, il donne envie, mine de rien. Il me reste 5 persos à découvrir. Faisons le triquet, j'ai envie de bouffer. Tom Watts c'est la gonzeuse, j'ai pas du tout envie de les bouffer. Lui, ça me ferait marrer. Lui... Ouf, non, pas vraiment. Lui, je sais même plus qui c'est. Oh là là. Bah, il me dit rien. Je me souviens pas de qui c'est, lui. Dans ces trois-là, bon, lui, là, c'est sûr, c'est mort, c'est sûr. Et certains, ces deux-là, ouais. Il y a moyen.
Goodbye.
Alors... Il serait peut-être temps d'aller faire la mission. Et rester de là, et du coup, voilà. Il y a ça qui était juste à côté. On va y aller. Non, ça doit être les entrepôts qui sont juste en face, là. Bien. J'imagine que c'est ça. Non, c'est pas ça. C'est au-dessus. C'est au-dessus. Oh là, je t'avais pas vu, toi. Font mal les rouillards, hein. suis laissé surprendre. Stress en face là. Peut-être en se mettre au-dessus, ouais, c'est très... Ah ouais, ça doit être ça là. Ça doit être ça. Mais allons-y.
Tom has so much alcohol, he could keep this district afloat for quite some time.
Franchement, il aurait pu y avoir. Tu me dirais, il y avait un gros loup d'Yarou, peut-être pour ça qu'il n'y a pas été. Texte de journal. Un jeune arrêté pour tentative de meurtre. La nuit dernière, un jeune homme du nom de Tom Watts a été appréhendé par la police pour une tentative de meurtre dans le célèbre restaurant de Silver Bell, sur Percival Street. Le suspect a été aperçu devant le restaurant, un pistolet à la main, visant les clients pendant près d'1 minute, sans tirer un seul coup de feu. Des témoins ont immédiatement signalé son comportement. Watts s'est laissé arrêter sans opposer de résistance, mais il a refusé de fournir une explication pour son geste, n'a donné que son nom. Son pistolet était chargé, a attesté l'un des policiers ayant répondu à nos questions. Watts recevra sans doute la plus grande fermeté de la part de la cour de Sa Majesté pour ses agissements. Le jeune homme devrait recevoir une sentence de quelques années d'emprisonnement au moins. Alors, je peux soit rapporter des bouteilles de gin, soit mentir et les garder. Encore une fois, j'ai rien qui me permette d'avoir envie de garder des bouteilles de gin, quoi. Moi, de vouloir me beurrer la gueule, mais... C'est-à-dire que le mec, c'est un vampire, s'il veut du gin, ça doit être quand même assez simple d'en trouver pour lui. Donc à partir du moment où j'ai accepté de lui rendre service, pareil, je vais lui donner, quoi. Aucune raison de pas de la voler.
Welcome back, Doctor.
You lied to me, Tom. Your warehouse wasn't empty. It was inhabited with armed vigilantes.
I'm sorry, Dr. Reed, but I thought those Prewen guards would be willing to let someone like you pass without trouble.
That was devious of you, Tom. Next time you can bloody well go yourself.
Ah ouais, c'est parce qu'il y avait des mecs dedans.
It's just that I prefer to avoid the law, its enforcers, and all manner of thugs in uniform.
Here is your booze. I hope it will appease your customers. Just try not to kill anyone with this poison of yours.
Believe me, Doctor, most of my customers are less agreeable when sober.
Tell me about your arrest for attempted murder, Tom.
I tried to kill someone. I got arrested. I paid my debt and I have nothing to hide.
So you mean your customers know about your sordid past?
Yeah, why do you think this is the last pub open? I have nothing to hide and I don't judge. That's a relief for many round here.
Do you think prison changed you? Made you a better man?
Oh, I don't know about that. All I brought back is bad memories, scars, and an ugly tattoo of a blue turtle.
But do you feel cleansed of your sins?
All I know is that I'm at peace. I did what I did, but I wouldn't do it again. Does that make me a better man? I don't know.
You attempted murder. Give me some details.
I was given an order to kill. I was an obedient gang member at the time. A proud, wet boot boy.
Why did you join the gang?
Because I finally felt useful. Do you have any idea what it means to feel respected when the rest of the world shits on you?
So you were ordered to kill someone. What happened then?
I don't know if you can possibly understand, but I couldn't kill him. I just stood there pointing my gun. Someone saw me. I gave up.
Why couldn't you shoot?
My target was eating in that fancy restaurant with mirrors and music. He was eating, drinking, laughing. He was having such a good time. I hated him for his bottomless appetite and easy life of easy pickings. And then something happened.
You refused to kill him because you wanted to feel some of that happiness yourself. You empathized with him.
Exactly. The man was a bloody landlord who rented overpriced flats. A selfish bastard. But he made me smile. And I was no different from him.
Why not leave town and start a new life after you got out of jail?
I grew up in the East End. This is where my roots are. This is where I want to help others and die, eventually.
Do you think the docks will always be a hive of scum and villainy?
As long as poverty and fear run the show, I don't see how it would change. Misery loves company, as they say.
Don't you feel threatened, staying in such a violent and criminal neighborhood?
I've made peace with my violent past, Dr. Reed. I may not be a pacifist, but I'm not angry anymore.
Goodbye, Mr.
I should have offered a drink to
Are they
the
stupid
boy.
or something?
There's gotta be
I've never even been to India.
Lost
You still working?
Tell me, Sabrina, do you really believe Tom has renounced his life of crime?
He proves it to me every day. He tells the truth. Tom Watts is a good man. One of the best.
And you don't think he might fall back into his sordid ways?
We can all do terrible things, Dr. Reed. And we never know what we're really capable of until it's too late.
Were you aware of Tom's past incarceration?
That's the first thing he told me when he offered...
Did it surprise you?
Not really.
Most people would have run away because of that.
Not me. I thought a man like him could give me stability, you know? At least to some degree. And I wasn't mistaken.
Goodbye, Miss Kemp.
Putain, ces affiches à la con là.
So few clients. With the epidemic,
Bref,
no one dares go
allons-y.
outside.
Peut-être faire avancer la quête principale aussi un jour. Bien. T'avais pas vu, toi?
I cannot enter.
C'est pas de chance, ça. Faut passer par l'eau, un autre côté, quoi.
It's
Fermé
locked.
aussi. Probablement que c'est dans le... Par là, enfin, on va y accéder vers le... L'endroit qui nous amène à la quête principale. Fort probable. Voilà.
Seems like the guard of pre-runners on Shawshank trail too.
Ah, le bâtard! La morsure, ça marche bien, hein. Ça fait des dégâts débiles, hein.
The result of rabid rage. If this is Sean's doing, he's become a murderous beast.
Ça marche bien. Je suis assez satisfait de la tournure des événements en termes de build. Est-ce que j'aurais pas looté une arme au pif? Là plutôt, là. Non, j'ai rien looté de neuf. Hein. On loot vraiment peu d'armes, ou alors je suis vraiment bigleux et je n'arrête pas de passer à côté, mais bon. Est-ce qu'elle est de l'autre côté? On peut passer sur le côté, est-ce qu'on peut rentrer là? Ouais. Non, on peut pas.
It's a leech! Kill it! It's too strong! Shit, that leech is fast!
C'est grand, hein. Ça fait plaisir d'avoir une grande zone. Il y a des bestiales en bas. Je vais aller leur péter la gueule tout de suite. On attend. Ah, qu'a-t-il? Un problème? Non? Tout va bien?
This poor man has just been slaughtered by a vampire. The body's still warm. Il est infini ce niveau. Ok, je vais continuer d'aller par là jusqu'au bout s'il y a. Puis après je reviendrai au début de la zone pour voir ça sur le côté. Ratissons ça de manière méthodique. Ah. Pas l'air d'avoir grand chose, hein. Note de la garde de Priwen, 27 octobre. Expéditeur, poste de commandement de la garde de Priwen, destinataire patrouille des docks, sujet chasseur de vampires, imposteur à éviter. Certains de nos éclaireurs nous ont récemment signalé la présence d'un certain Ichabod Trogmorton, oui c'est comme ça que ça se dit, sur les docks de l'East End. Vous le verrez probablement patrouiller la zone de nuit, prétendant être un spécialiste de l'extermination de vampires. Cet homme est un parfait imposteur, ce n'est pas un escroc car il ne demande aucune compensation pour son travail, mais il n'a manifestement aucune idée de ce qu'il fait ou raconte. Si jamais il vous propose de collaborer ou de chasser ensemble, refusez et laissez-le partir. Dans un combat contre un suceur de sang, le pauvre homme ne pourrait servir à rien d'autre qu'à faire l'appât. On s'en était rendu compte nous-mêmes.
The power of the Lord command.
c'est la merde, Michel. La stamina, voilà.
Filthy murdering bastard! Bloody limp-back demon!
Alors, reste pas là. Oh, la caméra, mon dieu, la caméra. Ouais, bah alors, mais... La caméra c'est dur, hein, franchement. Faut y jouer pour comprendre, vraiment, il y a des fois la caméra elle t'empêche de bouger. C'est quelque chose, hein, d'avoir réussi à faire plus dégueulasse chez la caméra de Dark Souls, c'était balèze, hein. Mais ils y sont parvenus. C'est vraiment très très fort. Et apparemment au clavier souris c'est pire que tout. Et je veux bien le croire, mais je m'en doutais, hein, de toute façon, c'est pour ça que j'ai pas cherché les jeux au clavier souris. Alors que je joue tout à fait au clavier souris à Dark Souls. Manette ou clavier souris, l'un ou l'autre, ça me va très bien. Avec l'expérience, j'ai fini par préférer jouer au clavier souris. Parce que ça permet de vraiment bien mieux maîtriser le jeu sans le lock. Du coup, bah, à choisir, je joue au clavier souris, mais le pad me pose pas de problème. Et dans l'absolu, je veux dire, ça change pas grand chose. Là, dans ce jeu-là, je pense que le clavier souris, c'est absolument impossible à jouer. C'est tellement rigide que... là, on se rapproche de l'objectif, ce qui n'est pas forcément ce dont j'ai envie, vu qu'on est déjà à 55 minutes de vidéo.
It's locked.
Peut-être trouver le moyen de rentrer, pas. Comment? Pas par là en tout cas. Je crois qu'on arrive... Oui, c'est exactement ça. On va pouvoir ouvrir la porte là. Avec une safe house juste à côté, ma foi. Est-ce que ce serait pas le bon moment en plus, voilà. Ou brûler toutes les affiches. Ah ouais, je vais brûler les affiches. Hein. Comment on fait ça? Les foutre dans le feu tout simplement, c'est ça? Voilà. On va faire ça, hein. Très bien ça. Et j'ai envie de dire, mon petit YouTube, n'en profiterait-on pas pour s'arrêter là? Eh oui, ça me semble être le bon moment. Bah, je te remercie de suivre assidûment ce let's play YouTube. Et je te dis à bientôt. Bonjour chez toi.